Anyone who knows me knows I love side hustles. I love being around people who are doing things or building things or creating things. And I feel like it's energizing. It makes me feel optimistic. But it can be really hard to find a side hustle that fits your lifestyle. It's, if you have a family, if you've got a really demanding job, if you've got, limited time because of a million other things, it can be hard to start a side hustle. But for these reasons and many, many more, I think freelance writing is the best side hustle out there. What's up, guys? My name is Tom Scalisi, and I'm a freelance content and copywriter. I think that freelance writing is the best side hustle out there, and I want to share the information and experience that I have so more people who want to enter into freelance writing feel a little bit more informed and empowered. I don't have an ebook or a course or anything like that to sell. So the only thing that I ask you to do is to hit the subscribe button, because that's how you can, pay me. You don't have to buy my course or sign up for coaching classes or anything like that. I don't have any of that. So just hit the subscribe button and let's get into it. So here are my top 10 reasons of why I think that freelance writing is the best side hustle 2024 and beyond. The first one is you probably already have what it takes to make some money freelance writing. If you're watching this video, if you've been alive for 20 something years, you've probably had at least a few jobs where you've learned how to operate in the real world. And it doesn't matter if you're a real estate agent, fast food worker, engineer, janitor. It really doesn't matter. It is your experience in the real world, learning how to do something and learning how to do it better. There are people out there who will pay you for that information because they need it. They want to know how to do something better, or they want to know how to start a business in that field. So your expertise, regardless of what it is, has some type of marketing value. So like I said, everybody has what it takes to start writing about something. You have to be a decent writer. You can't just write slop about the topic that you know. But if you know how to write, you probably have the experience required to get paid for it. So the second reason I think that freelance writing is the best side hustle is because there's like massive skill development once you start writing. You have to take it all on yourself. You have to learn everything yourself. And in the process, you really build up your skill set. Really quickly, you'll learn how to write better, faster, and to a more targeted audience. You'll learn SEO, the basics, the fundamentals of SEO. You'll probably learn a little bit of graphic design. You'll probably have to get into some type of web platform like WordPress and figure out how that works. And you just start stacking these skill sets. And even if you decide not to stay in freelance writing or make it full time, or it's not for you, you can take it into a career in marketing, graphic design, or who even knows. But you just really quickly stack that skill set, and it's a great reason to get into freelance writing. The third reason I really like freelance writing as a side business or side hustle is because you get to make your own schedule. And I know that sounds like a buzzword phrase that they use every time you sign up for a pyramid scheme, but I think it is, there's some truth to it. So if you think about other side hustles, like let's talk about like a lawn care service. Lawn care service, you've got to work specific hours because you've got to work while the sun is shining. Same thing with like a handyman service. You're probably going to work the weekends because you need a lot of hours to get the job done, and you got to set the tools up and break them down. So you have to work within certain parameters time-wise. With freelance writing, you don't have to do that. You don't have to work specific hours. If you have to take a meeting, you have to take a meeting, but you can work while your client is sleeping. You can work if it's dark. You can work if it's a Monday, if it's a Tuesday. You can take the morning off because you've got to get your kid to the doctors and then work late in the evening. It's just super flexible. And because of that, I think it's the perfect side business because you can just make up and work whenever you need to. The fourth reason I like freelance writing as a side business, and it's the best, here it is. You're rarely bored. You're writing different articles all the time, and you're learning new things. Even if it's your niche, you're learning new things about your niche, even when you're an expert. So it's rarely Groundhog Day.
I'm sorry, what was that again?
I'm a god.
It's rarely you sitting there repeating the same process over and over again. Now, it does happen. I'm not going to lie to you. Sometimes an article sucks or it's super boring and it's really hard to get through. Luckily, though, because you're your own boss, you can decide to bounce off that article, work on one that is interesting and exciting, feel re-energized, and then go back to that boring one and chip away at it a little bit at a time. It's just that for me, not getting bored with what you do is so important, because I don't know if it's a touch of adult ADHD, but if I am bored, I am miserable. All right, the fifth reason freelancing is the best. I'm just gonna go through it quicker. I don't want to keep saying freelance writing is the best side hustle. So the fifth reason is because you basically have a limitless client base. There's so many clients out there willing to pay you to work for them, to write about their topics or to write about your expertise, that it's just limitless. Like, one of the things that you learn in freelance writing is to believe in abundance. There's just so many people out there looking for great content, great copy. If you were to stick with it, it's impossible to completely strike out and never find a client. You'll find one. Now, that's completely different than if you were, the lawn care service and you only work within your county. There's only a certain amount of people in your county, and you have to make sure you put routes together that make sense to make the most money. With freelance writing, everything is online and client base is limitless, and it's just no complaints, man. You can find clients. So just believe in abundance and understand that your client base is limitless. All right, the sixth one I'm going to tell you, and it's probably going to sound like some bullshit YouTube video, but this is not a bullshit YouTube video, by the way. It is that you can work from anywhere. It's important to emphasize work, because it's work. It's not sipping Mai Tai. You're not working because you're getting condensation rings on your laptop from your margarita on a beach somewhere. Working means your laptop has to be open. But if you have Wi-Fi and you are willing to work while you're on vacation, or willing to work when you're, in a different country, you can work from anywhere. You just need to have internet access and the drive to get the job done. This is important for me because I find it really difficult to be away from work for too long. So even if I don't need to work on vacation, I will work because I enjoy it and because it keeps me grounded sometimes. But if you are the type of person that thinks that you're gonna kick back and put your toes in the sand and crack Coronas all day and call it work, unless you're a travel writer writing beach reviews, I don't think it's gonna work for you. But I guess there's a ask for those seats too, so who knows. All right, the seventh reason that freelancing kicks ass. You don't need expensive equipment. So here's what's funny. When I started freelance writing, I started writing on my daughter's Chromebook, which had like a 12-inch screen on it, right? And I wrote on that. I got my job done, and I saved up money, and I bought a bigger Chromebook. And that bigger Chromebook made it so I didn't have to strain my eyes, and like my knuckles weren't touching each other like they were on my daughter's Chromebook because it was so small. So I bought a more expensive Chromebook, and that one cost me like $300, and I made tens of thousands of dollars from that little Chromebook. And then from there I upgraded. But the point is that you don't need something expensive. Chances are you probably already have something in your house that you can open your freelance writing business from. So if it's a desktop or a laptop, you could probably do it from an iPad. You may even be able to do it from a phone, but I can't stand writing on my phone, so I try not to do that. But you don't need expensive equipment. And that's a complete 180 from starting a long hair business where you got to buy a tractor and a trailer and weed whackers, or a handyman business where you got to buy tools and materials. You've got everything you need, chances are, already in your house. So big reason why it's one of the best side hustles. Eight. This is really cool, because if you want to be an entrepreneur, honestly, freelance writing is one of the easiest businesses to start and learn from. really quickly. You'll start to understand marketing and accounting and budgeting and a whole bunch of other business related tasks just because you started your freelance writing side business. So it is the quickest way to really dip your toe into the business world without a huge ton of risk, because obviously we talked about it, there's not a lot of equipment, and overhead is pretty low. The fact that you can learn things like accounting and negotiation and contracts and things like that without that huge risk is a huge benefit. All right, number 9, when it's a freelance side hustle or your business, it can build momentum by itself. And I mentioned this in another video that I shot the other day, but that when you start your freelance writing business, every article that you have posted has your name attached to it, and it sort of works like a billboard for you. And the more articles you put out there, the stronger your portfolio is, and now you start to build steam. Your name is on more articles, and now your competitors are checking those articles, and they see that, hey, this guy wrote this article, it's pretty good, maybe we should see if we can get him to write for us. And then they come to you with an offer, and if it's a good offer, you take it. If not, you can counter with them. It's up to you. But the point is that the more you write, the more in demand you become, which is pretty cool. It's not necessarily the case with other businesses, but with freelance writing, it's definitely the case. The more articles you write, the more times your competitors take note of your name, the more money you're going to make, the more clients you're going to have, and it's like a snowball rolling down a hill to get out of control pretty quickly. And it's one of the coolest parts of being a freelance writer. Number 10, the one you've been waiting for. It is that the pay is unbeatable. I've done a lot of different types of work in my life, run some businesses, and I have to tell you, the hourly rate that you can make, I'm not saying charge an hourly rate because I don't believe in that. I believe in getting paid by word, but the hourly rate that you can make compared to your expenses and overhead, your profit margin is unbelievable. And it can be a ton of money. Now, it depends on several factors, like how long you've been a writer for, what type of niche you're in, and there's several other factors, but the amount of money that you can make is tremendous. I mean, you can make like $60 to $100 an hour in your first couple of months, depending on a whole bunch of different factors, and that's just a taste. You can make a lot more money than that. I'm not selling you a bunch of bullshit. If you don't believe me, I broke all of this down in this video over here about how much money you can make as a freelance writer. Check that out and make sure you hit the subscribe button. Check you guys out later.